This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
It is becoming the age-old question. Do Republicans lie because they believe it, which isn't really ever the truth, or do they lie because they know MAGA world will believe it? I think that is really the more likely answer. Donald Trump last night in Iowa, we're in the final push right now before the Iowa caucuses, and Donald Trump is desperate to what's going to likely happen, trounce the rest of the Republican field. Right now, he enjoys a majority in the polls, majority support of Iowans in the Republican Party. His level of support as a percentage is greater than all of the other Republicans combined. It's likely he's going to crush in Iowa. So he gave it a speech and rambling his nonsense, and he has a question that I'm going to answer. Something about, name me one thing that's better with crooked Joe Biden as president of the United States. And I am here for you and to elucidate Donald Trump on what exactly the answer is to that question. Here he is asking that question.
Not one thing, if you think about it, has gotten better under crooked Joe Biden. Name one thing where we're doing well.
Name one thing. I'll tell you what, brother. I'll do you one better. I'll name multiple things. In fact, we'll start off with not me telling you, but Fox News just yesterday, just before Donald Trump gave this speech, Neil Cavuto announcing a new record high for the stock market.
To the finish we've seen now in the better part of 2 years. The Dow's never been higher. The other averages racing along. We'll tell you what sparked this and what it could mean and portend for you in the months ahead, your world.
Now, I start with the stock market, not because it's a tell-all metric at all, because a lot of people aren't invested in the stock market. It's not going to impact them at all that the stock market is at an all-time high. But the reason I played that and highlighted this metric is because of the fact that Republicans love to talk about the stock market. Republicans who trade their stocks while they're congresspeople, they love to talk about a high stock market as though it is the be-all, end-all of economic metrics. One metric that will impact your life is unemployment. Unemployment is nearly at an all-time low. It was the lowest in over 50 years back in February. It was 3.4%. Right now, we sit at 3.7% unemployment. Here's a headline from CNBC from just the 8th of December. U.S. payrolls rose 199,000 in November. Unemployment rate falls to 3.7%. Now, let's contrast that against Donald Trump's unemployment rate. This is from the Washington Post. And we don't even have to look at the 14.7% unemployment that happened in the onset of the pandemic. We can just look at the end of his term as president or the end of the election cycle that year in November, where it was 6.7% unemployment for Donald Trump. Now it's 3% lower. It's below 4%. Seems like that's another thing that's better under Joe Biden. And I'm being fair, extra fair, unduly fair, because I'm not looking at the 14.7, nearly 15% unemployment rate. By the way, the 3.4% in February, like I said, was the lowest since the 1960s. I wasn't alive. Here's another metric. I'm going to play one more little clip of Donald Trump. The other metric that they love to talk about was gas prices. Here's Donald Trump, again, doing the thing where he lies to the crowd. I don't know if they're believing it or not, but it gives them something to talk about up until the election. Here's Donald Trump whining about current gas prices while juxtaposing our prices today against when he was president. Watch this.
Gasoline prices are now $5, $6, $7, and even $8 a gallon. By contrast, under the Trump leadership, my leadership, inflation was non-existent, and we had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon. Doesn't that sound beautiful? Beautiful.
Gas prices, they are $5, $6, $7, and even $8. They're $9, $10, $11, $12, $15, $18, $25 a gallon, says Donald Trump, which is a lie. First, let's address Donald Trump's gas prices. $1.87, that was at the peak of the pandemic when no one was driving. Very few people were driving. And when you have a high supply of a product, in this case gasoline, and a low demand, you get low prices. It's basic high school economics, supply and demand. So the $1.87 wasn't that they got them down to it, unless, of course, he's taking credit for the pandemic. Let's look at AAA. Here's some gas prices. As of December 14th, 2023, that is today, $3.104 per gallon average in the United States. Not $5, not $6, not $7, or even $8 per gallon. 3.1. And in some states, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Arkansas, Missouri, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Ohio, and Wisconsin, up $2.50. So the nonsense, the lies, the subterfuge that Donald Trump is doing on the campaign trail, one, should not be accepted because they're just bald-faced lies, insane, provable lies that he's telling. But Republicans, they're okay with it. Republicans, because they need a talk track to follow, we'll just repeat this. Yeah, well, what about gas prices? What about inflation? Inflation's coming down too. And the cause of inflation was, one, corporate price gouging, but also a pandemic leading metric. It is something that took place because of supply lines and the distribution system that is global. And inflation isn't just an American metric. Inflation is something that is impacting globally. So it's not a Biden problem. It's not a Biden solve that can be done. Certain things can be done to mitigate inflation, like the Inflation Reduction Act, which absolutely kicked it in the ass. But Donald Trump is flailing, he is failing, and he's continuing the same standard operating procedure, which is just to lie in grand fashion about things that are easily provable. You don't have to be an economist. I'm not. All you need is just a basic understanding of where to find the information to prove Donald Trump wrong. It's very easy. Anyway, what do you think about this? Are you watching his speeches? I would hope not. But I'm here for you to give you the nuggets that you need. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I would ask you, if you appreciate what I do, if I bring you value, any modicum of value, if it's worth $1.99 a month to you, please consider supporting my work. Click that join button below, see what's involved. You can hit the super thanks button, or you can even better go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. All those are great ways to support this work, this channel, this message. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, all of them at Dollemore. I'd love to see you there. And I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.